Hello YouTube. I'm streaming, if you're wondering. Today's stream is VTuber controversies and videos, so we're going to see a lot of VTuber videos coming up. For those on YouTube, I am trying to get 500 subscribers, so, you know, I can monetize the channel and all ad revenue from that channel is going to go to the support group that I run. So if you want to help out with that, we'll get right into it. Otherwise, let's start the video.
You know when a situation gets to a point where it's so catastrophic, people start saying the phrase, "I hope this gets taught at universities so that it never happens again"? Well, this is exactly what's been happening in the Nijisanji and Selen Tatsuki situation, or better yet, incident. Because when I say that this is catastrophic, I don't mean to say it just in regards to...
Thank you, Starbucks, for subscribing with Prime. Really appreciate it. Wow, thanks.
VTubing. No, I say this in regard to the entire internet. Because this is one of the biggest cases of corporate mismanagement I've ever seen in my life.
Does that really
We're
surprise
talking about
anyone?
a management team that didn't do anything about
Does that surprise
internal
anyone?
bullying and harassment and let someone almost die because of their negligence. I purposefully waited until we got somewhat of a satisfying conclusion because yes, there is a good ending here, thankfully. And what ended up happening to the corporation, or what is currently happening, is hilarious. This is gonna be a roller coaster, so strap in. Alright, so here's the deal. To really understand the severity of the situation, you have to understand the ecosystem of VTubing in general.
Excuse
the
me?
biggest players in VTubing often are associated to a corporation.
Do I know any of these people? I know Filian, I guess, and I know Corone. Just because she showed up in Hyperdimension Neptunia. Other than that, I honestly can't tell you any of these. No, I don't know.
These corporations tend to be from Japan, at
There's
least
a
the
male
biggest ones,
VTuber?
and they kind of work like music
There's male
labels,
VTubers
where
now?
they literally, and I mean literally, own everything. And yes, that also includes your VTuber model. Okay, this one in particular is fan-made, the ugly bastard, but you get the point. They own what makes you, you. And it goes without saying, they also have access to all your social media accounts, they have the passwords, they can do whatever they want, they can delete whatever they want. It's up to them completely. People will sign with them anyway though, because they're attracted by the idea of this network, of these resources, of all the stuff that the corporation can do for them. Just like how musicians will still sign with music labels. Currently, the two biggest corporations in VTubing are Hololive and...
I wouldn't sign with anybody. If I can't make it on myself, even if I'm just a little guy, it's not worth my time. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't sell myself for anyone. Ever. Maybe an advertisement, but like, doing a contract like this, you're out of your mind. Having someone be able to tell me what to do, you crazy.
Nijisanji. Hololive is owned by its parent company, Cover, and Nijisanji is owned by its parent company, Anycolor. Now you probably are...
Uh-oh. Is this woke VTubing? I jest.
Already know this by now from the title of this video and where we're heading with this, but the corporation at the center of this incident is Nijisanji's English branch, which is of course owned by Anycolor. But one thing you might not know is just how much Anycolor is worth. When it was put on the Japanese stock exchange in 2022, the worth of the company was at $2.5 billion. That's American dollars. Yeah, it pays to have anime girl avatars talk in front of a camera. VTubing's main source of revenue always came from Japan, but in 2020, during the pandemic's peak of loneliness, Nijisanji and Hololive saw an opportunity. English-speaking weebs.
And incels. And creeps. Lonely men. Nah. They knew what they're doing.
That's when the main culprit of the hour was created, which is Nijisanji's English branch. Selen was in the second ever English branch wave, which is Obsidia. She's right here, as you can see.
Okay.
But before even joining Nijisanji, she used to be known as Dokibird. Initially, she was drawing Twitch emotes, and then started streaming. People loved her wacky personality, and she was just having fun. She then joined Nijisanji's English branch under Obsidia alongside Roseby Lovelock and
That way
Petra
she can
Duran.
keep Dokibird.
She was in love with the game Apex Legends. She would play that whenever she could. People quickly fell in love with her personality, and she was truly known to care about her fans way too much, often making big sacrifices to make them happy. She called them her Dragoons. But you know what? Since her first stream in
Final
July
Fantasy,
of
I love
2021
it.
with Nijisanji, things were going really well. Or at least, that's what people thought. Because at the end of 2023, news would come out that would turn the VTuber community upside down. It all started on Christmas Day,
Of
a
course.
day you're meant to enjoy with family. It couldn't have gone
Why wouldn't
worse.
you?
The trigger for this entire catastrophe? A music video. Selen had worked on a music video for her fans. She paid $15,000 out of her own pocket because Niji
Back in 2022, I lost two
Hey, it's
very
the
important
biggest
people
game
in,
in
my
the
life.
whole
Big
world.
figures. It really wasn't until
Sanji wouldn't fund it. And on top of not funding it,
Right.
what do? They take down the video in under 24 hours. No explanation to the
What?
public. Remember what I said?
$15,000 and they take down the video. I would be quitting. You can have it. You can have everything. I'm done.
About corporations and how they have access to all
You want to try to use my money? You want to see what I can do? I'm leaving. You get no money from me no more.
social media of their VTubers? Yeah, that's what happened, and she couldn't do anything about it. All she could realistically do under the very tight contracts and NDAs of a corporation is make up a vague tweet, sort of explaining what's going on to her fans. In it, she says, "Hello, I apologize, but management has privated the song. Please feel free to re-upload since a lot of money and effort was done by so many Dragoons," her fans. "I'm really sad that this happened on Christmas, but I hope somehow you guys will still be able to listen to it in some way." So I should mention that even at this point, many fans were asking Nijisanji to treat their talent better and to stop
Okay.
giving Selen such a hard time, okay? Even before all the stuff you're about to see, this was already a pressing issue. Her fans could already tell that this was getting to Selen. I mean, it is heartbreaking to lose so much hard work just like that. So they were understandably worried about her mental state. But no one could have been ready for what would happen.
You know, we gotta cancel Nijisanji as a group. Like, there's 2 videos on Nijisanji here. Internet, rise up. Okay? I'm calling for all the weebs. I'm calling for all the mother's basement losers. Okay? I'm calling for all the computer wizards. We can't let the anime VTubers down. We must help them overcome the evil corporation, stand above, hold the flags, get the keks out, and destroy them.
2 days after the music video got taken down. Because out of nowhere, on December 27th, she tweets on her account, "I apologize for the silence. I've been in the hospital after an accident and will be staying there for a few days to be under supervision. I just got back access to my phone yesterday." That's not something you want to see your favorite VTuber ever tweet out. Now look, at the time, her Dragoons did what any good fans would, wishing her good health, of course being
There's a
worried,
mouse
but
on
hoping
the
for the
screen.
best. What many couldn't see at the time, though, is that there's something in this tweet that's very weird and off-putting. The Japanese apostrophe. As you can see from this tweet here by VT Screens, there are 2 examples of 2 different tweets, both made by another VTuber in the Nijisanji English branch called
But
Anna
right
Awa.
in her
In the
tweet?
first tweet, a normal apostrophe is used, but in the second, a quote-unquote Japanese apostrophe is used, signifying that the first tweet was tweeted by her, and that the second tweet was tweeted by her management team. The implications of such an accusation is just beyond what any of us can process. This already in itself is a PR catastrophe, a disaster by every magnitude. But at the time, the only people who really knew what was
Cannot
going
let
on were
this go
Selen,
on.
her emergency contact, we'll get into that later, Nijisanji, her parents, and her lawyer. But as far as everyone else was concerned, her fans, and even her closest friends, their only source of updates were her tweets. So 4 days after being hospitalized, she tweets, "Thank you to everyone for the support since I've been gone. I'm discharged from the hospital and my parents are helping me after my accident. Thank you to my Dragoons for all the kindness and support. I will keep trying my best in the new year. You are what keeps me going." Now, of course, people were happy she was out of the hospital, but the concern was still there. It was very vague and people didn't know what was going on. But unfortunately, as you might have concluded from watching this video so far, things only got worse.
Of course
2 weeks after Selen's hospitalization, Nijisanji's English branch tweets, "Due to unforeseen reasons, we would like to announce that Selen Tatsuki will not be able to participate in any activities at Anime Impulse Los Angeles 2024 on January 13th to 14th. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and disappointment caused to fans who have been looking forward to this." And then they detailed that the fans were going to get refunds. Now, all the replies here couldn't care less about the event and are all hoping for Selen's recovery. They're very supportive and are pretty much just giving their thoughts and prayers to her. But this was the first time since she got out of the hospital that we got any form of updates on her, and it's been 2 weeks. People were starting to get worried.
It's like a pimp
so
in their
another 2 weeks
girls.
passed by, and now it's been 1 full month since she tweeted that she got out of the hospital. So at this point, patience started to run real thin, okay? Prompting her fans to rally around the hashtag #WhereIsSelen on Twitter, demanding answers just to know that she's okay, alive and breathing.
Hey.
This is the tweet that started it. If this statement comes off as asking for too much as a fan, I apologize, but I and many other Dragoons have been worried about her well-being, and I think it's gone long enough to not hear from Nijisanji directly. The most important thing to understand here is that at this point, even if you watched VTubers she interacted with, they wouldn't mention her. Nijisanji, her corporation, who has a responsibility to represent her, wouldn't mention her either. It was absolute radio silence. And what's even worse is that her close friends didn't even know what was going on either. Just 1 day after the hashtag started trending, a friend of Selen, RPR, said, "It's been over a month of pure silence and is starting to get concerning. It would be nice to know where and how Selen is doing at the very least." Things were starting to heat up, but of course, in the VTuber community, nothing is really one-sided, even when it comes to something like this. Some people still manage to find wrong things with that tweet and with that hashtag, defending Nijisanji and defending Selen's privacy. This shows that Nijisanji's English branch has huge problems because when a talent of theirs says they've been
I don't know any of these. There's so many. What the what?
hospitalized.
I don't know any of these
and then disappears
people.
for a month. You can't
Well,
just
it
not
just
say
keeps going,
anything.
dude.
You can't just let the fan base fight within itself. That's gross mismanagement. But, but there's always a but in this story if you think this has been mismanagement so far. Buddy, now we're getting into the meat of the situation. Because just a few days after the #WhereIsSelen hashtag was created, all of Selen's videos on her YouTube channel were privated, including past VODs. Her Twitter was privated as well, all simultaneously, and then a mega-sized nuclear bomb drops on everyone's heads. The Selen Tatsuki termination notice. This was so massive that the day it happened, it was everywhere on Twitter. Even if you didn't follow VTubers, you probably have seen something in reference to this incident. But before we get into why this is one of the most badly written termination notices I've ever seen in my life, one thing to keep in mind. There are two ways a VTuber can leave an agency. The first one is graduation, in which they pretty much leave on amicable terms and they make it a celebration, which is why they call it a graduation. They have a graduation stream to say goodbye and everyone lives happily ever after. Termination, on the other hand, is what happens to someone like Ryoran, where the company claims that they breached the contract in one way or another, so they're being fired. So just imagine, okay, you're a fan, you've been waiting 1 month to hear back from Selen after she was hospitalized, and her company comes in and says, yeah, you know what, she's fired. Excuse me, what? Like what?
I would
and
be
of course,
pissed.
they also got community noted, but we'll get into that later. First, the terribly written termination notice. This is a very vaguely, very badly translated termination letter. We don't really get any specific reason as to why she got terminated, just very vague ones. I mean, look at this.
I'm gonna read this. So appreciate, okay, and we regret we had to make the difficult decision to terminate due to multiple breaches of contract. So, okay. You color establish, okay, we don't care about the rules. Violation scene. Okay, despite our efforts to uphold these rules, someone has repeatedly violated rules. Okay. Actions, violation, and third-party info, okay, including copyright violations, include unauthorized usage of worse assets belonging to others affiliated with any color. It's because she used her VTuber avatar for third-party effects, right? Furthermore, issued warnings. They're morons. That's the real answer here. They're morons. She's trying to do.
They say that Selen has repeatedly violated the activity rules.
They don't even know what
the
they're
activity
doing.
rules is something that all VTubers have to comply with under Nijisanji, right? But then when you read into what the activity rules actually were, they say they encompass a wide range of issues, such as non-compliance with rights confirmation and authorization flows. What does that even mean?
That means everything that you upload has to go through a visual check with someone before it ever gets posted anywhere on the internet. Okay, that means it's a multi-step process. It's pretty simple. A lot of main companies do that. Whenever we had to post something for like Facebook, it had to go through like 3 or 4 steps.
What are we talking about? A jet engine or a VTuber's termination? But many of the things they were talking about in the first page are redundant because they're spoken about in the second page in more detail.
Okay,
and most of this revolves around the music video, which is why they gave it an entire section on this termination notice. In it, they say that she posted the music video without getting proper authorization from her management team, because all relevant parties had to be okay with it. Of course, she was under the impression that she could post it because not only did she pay for the entire thing out of pocket, $15,000, but according to the community notes, Lily Pichu, the person behind the original song, had given full authorization to Nijisanji to use the song. But no, you know what? Let's take it.
At Alienware, we're always working
I
to
have an
improve how
Alienware.
you experience your
It's
favorite
pretty good.
games.
Down and not even tell the fans why it
But
got
their
taken
laptops
down,
are good.
right? So her tweet saying management took down the video, you are free to re-upload it, also went against Nijisanji's rules. Because, hey, communication, we don't do that here, buddy. Nope. Still though, they had the
why
gall to
would you?
claim that these actions led to various misunderstandings that damaged the reputation of both Anycolor and Nijisanji EN. Buddy, listen, let me tell you something. She's not the one damaging the reputation right now. You are. Because we are getting to the darkest section of the termination notice. In an effort to calm the situation, we sought to either publicly disclose the reasons for making the music video private or have Selen Tatsuki disclose them herself. While being mindful of Selen Tatsuki's physical and mental health, management did their best to communicate not only with Selen Tatsuki herself, but also her emergency contact. However, despite frequent communication with Selen Tatsuki's emergency contact while remaining considerate of her situation, we were unable to come to an agreement on how to proceed. The decision was made to temporarily remove her access to accounts on various social media platforms and video distribution services under the name Selen Tatsuki. Dude, this is so much worse now that we know what happened. This is so bad.